Welcome to Black Philanthropy, Our Stories, where each episode spotlights awesome Black and African American leaders committed to transforming lives and communities through philanthropy. These authentic conversations will inspire, challenge, and remind you are not alone. Here's your host, award-winning writer, director, and founder of Samuel and Murray, Michelle Renee Jackson.
Hello there. My name is Michelle Renee Jackson. I am so grateful for you today. Thank you for taking a chance on me and taking a chance on Black Philanthropy, Our Stories. You can listen to our show on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, basically anywhere you can find a podcast living its best life. That is where you will also find our show. And you can see a video version on YouTube or on our website, which is samuel-murray.com, which is also spelled SIMUEL-MURRAY.com. Let me just talk a little bit about what you can expect. So you can expect us to be honest. You can expect us to be thoughtful. You can expect us to be kind. You can expect us to ask questions. You can expect us to be loving. That ultimately what you hear are on our show over and over and over again is that philanthropy is ultimately about love for one another. And that what we're often trying to do on our show is to think through larger ways, deeper ways to love one another in a sector whose definition is love. So what I'm really excited about is introducing you to amazing people like CC Gardner. CC Gardner is someone who can talk to you about what it was like to be a teen mom, what it was like to be homeless, what it was like to enter Yale as a student at 28 years old, and what it was like to then be a consultant in philanthropy. Darren Goss can talk to you about the value of having a military background in philanthropy and how his military background helps him make decisions strategically in 2025 as the president of a foundation. One of my favorite things that I love about what Darren says often is that though the battlefield may change, the mission doesn't change. The values don't change. And for many people who are trying to navigate sort of the shifting waters in 2025, having a mission-driven strategy can be really important. And someone like Darren can be very helpful on how his own background as an officer in the military helps him stay steady in that space. An awesome leader like Yvonne Moore will talk to you about how important it is that foundations keep in mind the resources their recipients of their funding either do or do not have. And she uses this really beautiful story of her mother who was delivering frozen turkeys to, in one instance, a family that had no stove. What good is a frozen turkey if you don't got a stove to cook it in, right? Someone like Stephen Wallace. Stephen is a master fundraiser, and he shares more about his approach to fundraising, which is to say, working in partnership with the donors that he supports. He shares this really wonderful story about a donor who had lapsed on a significant six-figure gift that when partnering with Stephen, he was able to help her not only fund that pledge, but also to fund a seven-figure gift that not only transformed the institution, but it also transformed her. You might be the only fill in the blank in your organization, and that can be lonely. But what Black Philanthropy, Our Stories can do is help remind you that you are not alone, that there are ways to connect with others through organizations like AbbVie. There are ways to connect with others through LinkedIn, through giving circles, all those sorts of things with our guests who will give you ways on how to connect with them that will help you do this work in conversation and collaboration with others. And that regardless of whether you identify as Black or not, that our stories ultimately can be transferable, that Black people don't have a monopoly on loneliness or imposter syndrome or confusion about how to do philanthropy in 2025 with a new administration? That these are questions that we are all trying to deal with. And so many of our guests are going to help you think through what that looks like moving forward. They don't have all the answers. They have an awful lot of questions. But again, the hope is that you'll be able to see part of yourself in these stories. And so that's it. That's the goal. That's the vision, to help you know that you're valuable, to help you know that you matter, to help you know that you're not alone, to help you to find a place if you're trying to think through some next steps for you in your own career, and to help people know that Black people are awesome. We're awesome in our leadership. We're awesome in our giving. And we're also, for all those of us who ask, awesome in our asking. There is a lot of power in this sector of philanthropy. And so maybe my last hope is that Black Philanthropy Hour Stories provides just that hope, that things are going to get better should we choose to take those actions to make things better. I look forward to being with you on a weekly basis. You matter and you count, and you're really, really valuable.